Nope. You get up there and ask Trey. What Trey right here in front of us? What number did he say he had? Hey Trey, what number you got? All right.
23.
Yeah. Everybody I've seen leave here is when that's us.
What'd you say?
21 through 25. Good luck, guys. Everybody's going that way. Today's video is brought to you in part by Windrider Apparel, Bonsai Market in Delhi, Artistic Printers, Rebel River Outlet, Mammoth Ridge RV Park, The Angler Magazine, Bait Pop Live Sonar Intensifier, and Slab Happy Lures. Hey everybody, it's Perry Hensley, Slab Happy Lures. Just getting back, getting settled in from a weekend that was kind of busy, kind of sleepless, kind of miserable after I got back here, on my way home, earlier in the day before I left the Watts Bar tournament there, the ACC Big Crappie Bash 2025. Started feeling rough, and allergies started bothering me really bad. And you can tell on this side, my face, my eyes swollen. I'm just now able to see and able to talk really good today, because my eyes swollen up so bad, and water and nose is just running like crazy. Don't know what it was. Had a good time. JD, bless his heart, wasn't able to fish with us in that tournament, and I hate it, that JD missed it, but hats off to him for having his priorities in order. His mother-in-law is not well, and and he wanted to be there at home, and that's understandable 100%. But anyway, contacted my buddy Lewis Gibson, the crappie preacher, and he just happened to be at Douglas, at Douglas Lake in his camper there, and he's from North Carolina. So, God worked all that out, and he's like, let me see about my wife getting back home, and I'll head down that way. So everything worked out. God worked everything out for me, us. Got down there in time to pre-fish a little while on Friday. Thought it was going to be really good, the first spot we went to. I hooked into a 150. That's a good crappie. Another good respectable crappie. And it's a good blackfish, and I put it back. Um, Caught a couple more fish that evening, and it started to rain, and I didn't have my rain suit with me. It was in the truck. I didn't think I would need it. I didn't think it was going to rain anymore. But usually the weather is something you can't predict, too well. But anyway, Lewis happened to have another suit. He's sponsored by Wind Rider as well, and hats off to Wind Rider. I threw that the bright orange suit on, and it kept me dry. Right out of the gate, and I can't thank him enough for having that on board. Um, I hate to be wet and fishing, and it didn't used to bother me too bad, but anymore, the older I get, the less I tolerate, I guess. But anyway, had a good time down there at the tournament. We didn't do so well. Lewis got a good 152 on Saturday, tournament day. Um, we blasted off. We were in 25th position on blast off. There was 84 boats, which is incredible, man. When you get that many people in one area there, a lot of turbulent water taking off. Last year, JD and I did it. There was 82 boats in last year's event, if I'm correct here. But we took off in it, middle of the pack, 82 boats in a 17-foot, fast tracker. I think it's a pro team. It's like a 94 model, smaller boat, but that boat has been really good to us, ever since we started fishing. I can't complain about that boat. Douglas, the winds were 30 miles an hour gusts, and the front of our boat was going down in the water. The trolling motor was coming up out of the water, from the waves and all the boat traffic and the wind. And I still managed to catch the biggest fish that I've ever caught and weighed. It was a 256 there in the Douglas tournament. But back to the Watts Bar tournament. LaRue Isom and Jason Grimes managed to win 2 spots, on that day. $1,500 a spot. They won the first and the last one. Mr. Joel Nash, he's not with Slab Happy, but congratulations to him. He won the biggest fish of the whole tournament. That's $6,500 in his pocket, and if my math is right, I'm sorry. But yeah, he fishes the East Tennessee Crappie Tournament Trail with us, and really good fisherman, good guy, humble as can be, and I'm glad he got it. Out of 84 teams, it's a tough feat to have, because out of 84 teams, you got most of the boats got 2 people in them. So, what is that? 168 people fishing. So, to catch that one big fish the entire tournament's quite a feat, and he's a good fisherman besides. Want to give a shout out and a thank you to a couple of people. First of all, Andy Lehman. Andy Lehman, ACC Crappie Sticks. He putting on the event. Had a really good time. He's actually the first person we saw when we got down there putting the boat in. He's like, he hollered at us, "Hey fellas," and good person, doing good things. The other one I want to thank is Matt Zenas for taking it on. He's kind of the director of things there with the tournament. He's also our director and president of the East Tennessee, Crappie Tournament Trail. And, he does a lot for this community, this crappie community that's going on around the East Tennessee area, and he does do a lot there. I want to lift him up today, give him a shout out. Ray and Jimmy Pratt, man, two good brothers, that they stood down there and they fried fish with Matt and Andy. it was a really warm day. They fried fish Friday, and we ate fish Friday night. And they come back and fish the tournament Saturday, and hats off to them, and I sure do appreciate them and all they do. For the club, not because they have to, or not for the club, but for the tournament trail, not because they have to, because that's just the kind of people they are. Good people to have around. Again, we didn't fare too well, if you want to count success as, cashing a check. There's different ways of looking at success. Success was we had a good day. I got to be around a lot of my Christian fishing friends, brothers, and I'm just thankful to be able to do that. And we all came in safe and everything. So success doesn't come with a check. For me, anyways, even if I did well, success just doesn't come with a check, in my opinion of things. And I think you hear my dog over there coughing. Sorry about that. But anyway, let's keep it real. It's life. It's things that happen. But feeling pretty good today, a lot better than I did yesterday. I got up, didn't want to go to church. The devil tried to give me, excuses to not to go to church. But I went fishing all week, and even though I felt bad, something that popped in my mind. I was sitting there at church, and I told him, no kudos to me. I don't really speak up unless I've got something to say, and I don't usually talk to be heard. If something comes to mind, I want to say it. I want to get it out there. And what came to mind is, I mentioned during testimonies, I mentioned that, and no glory be to me, all glory be to God for this, and what I'm about to say here. But I mentioned that, the devil give me 10 excuses why I should stay home, but Jesus Christ give me that one solid reason that I should be there at church to praise Him. I should go out of my way to praise my God, and that is, the devil give me 10 reasons to stay home, and Christ give me the ultimate reason is the cross. All He done on the cross for my salvation and your salvation as well. And even if staying home looked good, Satan tried to make it look good. I went to church, and I got a blessing for going to church. And I just thank God for that, and all glory be to God, for everything that's happened this weekend, and He's been good to us. Every day He's good to us, but this past weekend He was really good to us. Didn't have a place to stay when we got down there. You know what I'm saying? And Tom Claxton, George Hamby, they're like, they got a room for 6 people. And they're like, hey, just pull in here and stay with us. So that's what we did. It's a sleepless night that Friday night, but it's all good. Got my rest when I got back home. Excuse me. But anyway, I want to give my thanks to all them people that was involved with the tournament. Had a good time. Got to meet some great people. Got to meet up again with Chris Gill. He even met us out on the water there, and he comes sneaking up behind us, and he's like, hey, I ain't trying to steal your spot. He said, I just noticed that y'all had crappie brakes on your boat, which I don't. It was Lewis's boat, and he's like, I need some the breakaway bolts, the shear pins, I guess that's what you'd call them. And he had broke his, and just so happens, Lewis was able to to give him some because he had a whole bag. You know what I mean? So he pulls over there, and we give him some. And for those of you who don't know, Chris Gill is part of the Slab Happy team here. And he's coming all the way from Texas to fish this event. And it's awesome the way God works things out. The smallest things, the most minute things that are just doesn't really mean much. God cares about what we care about. And God wants us to help people, and God will put people in our path for us to help, or put people in their path, to find help. And He would have done the same thing for us. About anybody out there probably would. And that's what it's all about, and it's not just the fishing, it's not just the money, it's not just all that, if you've got God in your life, you're living for Christ. And I don't do everything perfect, I'll say it on every video I ever make, I mess up, and I still slip up and sin. I don't know about anybody else that lives a perfect life, but thank God, we don't have to be perfect. He was the perfect one for us. And that's one of the best gifts He could have ever given us, and He did it because He loves us. And I'm sorry, if you're watching this and you don't know I'm an emotional Christian, and I don't apologize for it at all. All my tears belong to Him. Out of gratefulness, and humbleness, and like I said, I still fail. There's like a running joke, that this one guy that we have at church always says to the pastor. He said, I keep waiting on that sermon, for you to get up there and preach and tell us how good we are. We're not good. Not one of us. No, not one, as a matter of fact. The way it is in the Bible. None of us are good enough for the salvation that we receive, but, He is merciful enough that He gave it to us. But anyway, we had a great time down there, and it's all because of God. It's all, His mercies and His graces on us, that we can have these moments, that we can have these little times in our lives and make these memories. And I just want to lift God up today too. If you don't want to. If you don't want to hear about God, I'm sorry. If you get around me, you're going to hear it. It's He is in my life, and He is in my lifestyle. He is in my business. He's all around my business. Not just the making money part, just my whole world. I try to put God in everything I do. Sometimes, like I said, I'm not perfect. I slip up. I get too focused on things that don't matter in this world. I get too heavy into fishing sometimes. I get too focused into fishing sometimes, and I come up short on on God's side of it, and I shouldn't do that. But I'm human. I make mistakes, and that happens. But hats off to those that put on the tournament down there. I get all sidetracked sometimes, but what better way to get, or what better subject to get sidetracked on than salvation and God and what He's done for us. But anyway, had a good time. I got to meet Andy again down there, like I said. ACC crappie sticks. Davis, I think his name is Davis Linzen from Flopping Crappie. Got to meet him. Speak with him a second or two. Chris Gill from Asleep at the Reel. And just all the rest of the Slab Happy team that fishes that tournament. The Chesser brothers, Mike and Frankie Chesser. some more great guys. You know, LaRue and Jason, LaRue Isom and Jason Grimes. You know, those guys are awesome too. We don't have any bad people on our team here at Slab Happy. Um, um, we do our best to um, vet those that are going to represent our company good, and God has put a lot of good people in our path since starting this thing back in 2018. Um, I can't say enough about that. You know, I'm gonna keep lifting my Savior up. You know, lifting my Creator up. And but anyway, had a great time. Terrace View Marina down there at Watts Bar. A nice place to stay. You know, if you need accommodations, if you want to come back, or if you want to come down there and fish that event, the last weekend of April next year. That's when we intend to be down there again. That's when Andy said that he was going to, book the next one and have it ready to go. But if you hadn't fished that, come on down and fish it. I will tell you right now, if you see me and I don't speak to you, you don't think too much into it. I'm just, I'm not a conversationist. Never have been. You can't tell it sometimes when I talk on video, but I'm working on it. And I'm nice to everybody. I try to be nice to everybody. But don't take it the wrong way. If I don't speak with you or I don't recognize you. Sometimes I recognize faces, sometimes I recognize names, and most of the times I don't put names and faces together. Just to come up and introduce yourself to me, come up and say hi to me. I get squirreled a lot, inside my head, and talking to this one, I see that one, and, it's just, I can't keep focused on one thing sometimes. But anyway, we'll look forward to the next one. We hope to see you down there at the next one. I'm going to put up some pictures here that I took down there. The blast off. You'll probably see at the beginning of the video. If not, I'll put it in here too at the end. I just want to give thanks to all those people that fish for Slab Happy, all of those that put on this tournament, and everything that that was done. Tom Claxton, George Hamby, thank you guys for putting us up for the night. Thank you for the laughs. We had a good time with those fellas. But anyway, until next time, I'm Perry Hensley, Slab Happy Lures, and we hope you have a blessed day. We'll see you.